Your Excellency, the President Governor of Ebonyi State, I also see Your Excellency, Senator Ebonyi, former Governor of this state, the Deputy Governor, the wife of the Governor, and the wife of the Chief Judge. My lords, all judges present, you are welcome. Court of Appeal, my Chief Judge, Enugu State, you are welcome. Unfortunately, I wanted to stand, but the Chief Judge ordered. If you disobey the Chief Judge on the last day of his sitting, there may be trouble. Secondly, I want to warn that this is a court proceedings. There should be no clapping. I have not seen it for many years. Even if this is Ebonyi, even if the Chief Judge is retiring and you're happy, don't clap. Don't clap for me even. Thank you very much. My Lord, I didn't know I was going to be called to speak. If I knew, I would have done what the Attorney General did. I would have written something down, which I will tender at the end. But I seek your Lordship's indulgence to tender myself. Because everything I have spoken is in me. But I pray your Lordship not to accept me because I'm not fit enough. If I'm fit enough and I tender myself, your Lordship can admit me. But I will plead that you don't admit me. It will be an invalid evidence. One judge spoke to me when I was sitting down, a very good friend of Ebonyi State, and my very good friend. He said, when this house was opened, even last year, even the year before, I have not seen you at Abakaliki. I said, my friend, you did not look for me. You did not ask of me. Today, you have seen me and you are asking of me. Two reasons that have compelled me to start preparing for this function is because what the Attorney General has said, what the Governor will say, what everybody say about Nwankwo, I know. I won't repeat them. What I will try to do now, since I'm called to speak as a senior advocate, is to tell you what you don't know about him. You all know many things about him. The people who would make speeches after me will tell you about him. Many Nigerians who are not here know about him. If they happen to be here, we will be listening to speeches, and you'll be tired. So I won't tire you. What I will do is I'll tell you some few things you don't know about him. Now, first, at the wedding of my last daughter at Enugu, the Chief Judge not only attended, but with all his judges. The wife was present, and somebody thought it was a high court session. When two ministers arrived and they were told where to sit, they said, we can't sit there because Abakaliki judges are there. And they asked me where to sit. I said, look, my friends, you have to give the judges preference before the ministers. It is not done nowadays, though. But in those days, they agreed. I'm going to stand behind the judges. So I thank you very much. I use this opportunity to thank the judges of Ebonyi State. I have never thanked them before publicly. They have been wonderful to me. Since I became, shall I say, unavoidable in court, don't let me give you reasons. They have visited me at least 10 times. The chief judge himself has come more than 20 times. Just to say, are you still living? And I said yes. He said, you will live long until I retire. That is one of the reasons I came today. When I got an invitation that you are going to retire, I asked my wife whether that can be true. But you are not retiring with your wife. You are retiring alone. I'm saying that you are retiring alone. Please, the governor, please take note that he is not retiring with the wife. The wife will remain still to serve your government. Now, since the governor is listening, if you know Wanko, I don't think you know him very well, you will insist that even if he retires, you will bring him back somewhere to advise government on the judiciary and on Ebonyi State. If you know him, not as acting, not anything in judiciary. You see, because in 5 years' time, 20 years' time, you can see his age, he's still young. Mr. Judge, I will advise you, if you are back in Abakaliki and you hear that this court, this high court, is renamed after the governor who will be then, after his brother, don't be worried. It is still a high court, even if it's called Mr. X's high court. No, don't worry yourself. You have starred I've been to this court. I was in Abakaliki first, 7th of May, 1962. 7th of May, I was called to the bar on the 2nd of February, 1962. And I was here to defend all the Abakaliki chiefs. All of them were charged for murdering one person, all the chiefs. And they said they are members of Odozi Obodo. We were under a mango tree where the governor has ceased now to put his government. That was the High Court. High Court was on the right. There was no court here. And after some arguments, I was briefed by Mr. Elechi, because his father-in-law was also charged. All the Abakaliki chiefs, all of them, from about 18 local governments, they were charged with murder of one man, I think at Izi. They were never there, but there was something smelling in Abakaliki then, Odozi Obodo. And they were charged with conspiring and going with a farmer who murdered them. They were charged with murder. Eventually, the authority your justice mentioned was not available then. I would have cited it. Let me also advise that the Attorney General has opportunity of seeing your judges ruling. It may be a good idea for whoever succeeds to advise him. Judgments of court will be laid down in the library. Judgments of court, every judgment. So that when a lawyer thinks of reading about a particular judge, he goes there and picks a judgment. The Supreme Court, our member in the Supreme Court now, spoke of a judge who was retiring from Enugu, who had been 15 years as a judge and wrote 8 judgments. And people clapped. And they were asked not to clap because it was a court function. 15 years and 8 judgments. So please, judges of Abakaliki, I thank you again. When I was 80, in my small village, the judiciary of Abakaliki was represented, the chief judge was there, and some of his judges. And my town, more primitive than the chief judge's town, we are all afraid. They ran away from the compound because they thought there was going to be a high court. All of them ran away. 1 year ago, I thank you very much. I thank the judges, and I thank you for the present you brought. And what I said that day is, farewell, this may be our last meeting, but it wasn't our last meeting. We have met again today. I use this opportunity to thank you very well. To thank the Chief Judge for coming to Enugu for any single event that we are celebrating. All the time I was in practice. Valedictory, intercession, somebody died, everything. The Chief Judge of Abakaliki and the judges must be present. I think that is where he got the idea that this hall should be built. I'm not sure, but I have that feeling. The photograph taken by, what is this television people? I was watching it on television, and I cried that he didn't invite me for the function. It was crowded. I was happy I didn't come, but I wished I had come. All the senior advocates were being televised by channel, and I said, I should have been there, but I wasn't there. I was happy. I have now got the photograph. If any one of you wants to watch this event in Abakaliki, that only last. That was when I knew that this man is going to retire. Because he made a statement that day, that this function may be the last he will perform before he's going. Lord, I thank you very much for that, for opening this house. Why I thank you very much is that, Mr. Governor, please permit what I said. They call us Wawa people. I don't know whether you realize that. Mr. Egu knows they call us Wawa people. And that day, people who are returning came to my house and said, we have wiped Wawa. I said, don't wipe Wawa. Call me Wawa. Please. That day, the nation saw Abakaliki in a wonderful nature. Now, I will also advise people who are here, try and travel like Mr. Nwankwo has traveled. He will go to Ogidi, he will go to Etiti, he will go to everywhere. That is why when you look at the number of senior advocates, number of people, they come from everywhere in the country. I said so when Governor Egu was governor to the Attorney General openly. The Chief Judge will bear me. I said, try and produce yourself cases, go to the Supreme Court. Abakaliki needs a senior advocate. And I was happy last year, one man, what is his name? Omaka, was announced senior advocate. And I was told he came from Abakaliki. I went to the toilet twice. I thought it was not true. I went to the toilet and said, Abakaliki has made it. Ebonyi State, you must make people of Ebonyi State known. Let it not be Ebonyi State alone. You must make yourself known throughout the world. We are called primitive Wawa people. We are waking up. When I was coming down there this morning, I haven't been to Abakaliki for the last 4 years. I saw the development. It was not Egu, it was not Elechi, it was Omai. I was very, very proud. Each time they announced the leader of, what is it? What party? Your party. I said, please, he is a gentleman. He comes from anywhere. But he is doing best. Please, try and develop, make this place be known throughout Nigeria. People don't know us. People don't know us. We have managed to get one senior advocate here. We should have more. We should have more. The judges will help us to have more. Do you know how you can do it? Ask those who are chief judges, ask those who have been senior advocates to tell you, I was able to produce 3 from Enugu Bar when I was the chairman of the Bar Association. 3 in one session. That is a way to do it too. Mr. Governor, Mr. Governor, Mr. Governor, please listen to that man. He will advise you how to do these things. get the chief judges to get people who are brilliant. Let them write judgments. Let them punish them by doing their judgments. Because you don't become a senior advocate by just going with the governor to Sokoto or something. You become a senior advocate by writing their judgments. You must go to court. Tell them to go to court. Tell Abakaliki to appeal for any small thing. Give them money. Go to the Court of Appeal, they dismiss it, go to the Supreme Court. Because these judgments are required by the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal. Number of them, and they cannot get it if they feel they have finished their work here in Abakaliki. No. Please, judges, help your lawyers, those who are thinking about it. The man who is a lawyer now is from the university. There is no lawyer among us, practicing lawyers, who is a senior advocate. Please, look at those who are intelligent. Let them do their cases, because if you keep adjourning one case from February to November, November to May next year, May next year to June next year, it doesn't help them. If you find lawyers who are intelligent, you can help. Put his case today, next 2 weeks, he will suffer. He will sweat because he knows why he's sweating. He wants to put in an application. But if he doesn't have the cases, the body of benchers who make senior advocates will not consider them. I have said it before in this tribunal. When Mr. Egu was the governor, when he had a brilliant attorney general, I said, don't go to Asia with Mr. Egu anymore. Concentrate on doing the appeals. You are the chief legal advisor. You will be the only person who will do appeals. Go to the Supreme Court for all the state cases. Oh, somebody. Oh, time. Oh, Muslim, all right. Your Excellency, the Governor, I thank you. I thank the judges. You have heard me thank the judges. They require a clap, but don't clap for them here. They came to a town called Mbabuawa. Some of you have never heard of it. And their visit to Mbabuawa was surprising. My Governor, I will have to stop because I can talk and talk and talk and talk, but they have said you have talked too much. Please, thank you very much. Mr. Elechi, Mr. Wanko, Mr. Wanko, Justice Wanko, your wife, I will reserve comments I'll make about your wife on Sunday, if they allow me to talk. My wife will come on that day. You have been wonderful. You have been, I will not tell you the secrets, but thank you very much for being behind him. Thanks a lot.
Bringing in the nostalgia there, the oldest senior advocate of Nigeria present at this particular event, Chief Anthony Mogbo, over 80 years of age. And of course, talking about all the things that have happened in the judicial system in Ebonyi State since its inception, even before the former President Sani Abacha created the state. We will be listening to more goodwill messages by Chief Emeka Etiaba, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who will be speaking very soon. And of course, pertinent to note in the speech they're given by Chief Anthony Mogbo is a call for more Senior Advocates of Nigeria from Ebonyi State. And we'll be hearing also right now mounting the podium is the Governor of Ebonyi State, Engineer Dr. David Mweze Omahi, giving his goodwill message.
Friends, Your Excellency the Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Your Excellency the wife of the Deputy Governor, my Lord, the Chief Judge of Ebonyi State. You are still the Chief Judge till Sunday. Your Excellency, the First Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, Dr. Senator Minister Samu Menyewu. My Lords, the judges of Appeal Courts of Nigeria, my lords, the Chief Judge of the various states, my lords, the judges of Ebonyi State, my lords, the judges of other states. Don't know if my speaker, Ebonyi State House of Assembly, is here. The wife of the Chief Judge of Ebonyi State, Mr. President of the Customary Court of Appeal, our very learned senior advocates of Nigeria, the magistrates of Ebonyi State, the lawyers of Ebonyi State, the Honorable Attorney General of the state. Let me adopt the protocol in place, my dear brothers and sisters. My Lord, let me say that you can sit down so that I don't block the press. Let me report that the order you proposed of not clapping was not obeyed. Let me also safely adopt the address as made by my Honorable Attorney General. The address I will also tender. My Lord, let me congratulate you very highly for 24 years of unbroken service to our state and to our nation, and 16 years of the Chief Judge of Ebonyi State. It's probably the highest in the Federation, I don't know. And let me commend also Governor Simon Yogo and the NJC. At the time you were choosing, that was a very good choice. It remains a very good choice for Abia State. I can talk about your character, content, and candor for hours. But you're a man that is given to much intelligence, given to wisdom, given to humility, and yet a man that is very strict in the discharge of his duties. We've been friends as when I was party chairman, when I became a deputy governor, and God's grace governor. But I learned one thing from my father. The only way to maintain a continuous relationship with your friend is to respect the virtues of the person. And so I was never tempted in our years of friendship to seek for judicial favor from my lords, because you are not going to grant it, and I value our friendship. Thank you for that character. Thank you for your personality. And I commend you very highly, sir, when you talked about Wawa people, sir. Yes. The first impression you have about Wawa is to be tempted to think that our brains have not been properly developed. The first thing you'll be tempted to think is that we can't manage our affairs, and so on and so forth. So it's a case of neglect. There was a time that you talk about 36 states of the Federation, and say there is one more state missing, and then you say Ebonyi. But now Ebonyi State is a recurring decimal. You cannot talk about the success in judiciary, in our legislature, in dividends of democracy without mentioning Ebonyi State. We have stood up to be counted, and it is irreversible. So the nation of the world, and the state of Nigeria must bear this in mind, and we are still counting. And we can't achieve this without having character. And that's why I commend you. You have received so much commendation all over the country because of your forthrightness, because of your personality of character, because of your achievements, because of your oneness that you believe in the judiciary beyond the state of Ebonyi. So I commend you very, very highly. You represented Southeast NJC, and I think it was twice. And it was difficult for us to accept when it was time for you not to represent us again. Your sayings in the judiciary is that he that wants justice must come with clean hands. And so if we want to be counted, it is with this kind of character and commitment which you have displayed in the course of doing your work. I recall one trying moment when politicians went and convinced my Lord, the wife of the Chief Judge, to contest for House of Representatives. It was a very difficult moment, but there's something you said I won't forget. You can be Chief Judge over all of us, but not over your wife. So she was the Chief Judge, and you had to seek for help from me. My Lord, I won't forget that I offered her help. But he said something to me. He said, where will she paste her posters? And what name will the posters be? I won't forget that. What it shows is a man of great personality and character. You do what you talk, and you talk what you do. And by God's special grace, we did overcome. And my dear sister and friend is very happy today. Happier than being in the House of Representatives. But now she's free. She can be in the Senate. She can be in the House of Rep from Sunday. I want to thank you. You work so hard beyond the shores of your duties to assist in the development of the state. I won't forget when the state was badly challenged in 2015. And I won't forget what you said. There were agitations to set panel to impeach the then speaker, impeach the then deputy governor, that was me, impeach the then governor. And you said through dialogue and understanding, I will not set any committee to impeach anybody. And you got involved in that struggle. And we came out with the will of God. I want to thank you, my Lord, so much. Through your advice and commitment, we started a committee on justice reform, and that is ongoing, and it will count as one of your legacies. I want to commend you very highly for that advice. Through your advice, we have sent to the House of Assembly a law on domestication of criminal justice in Ebonyi State. You've been at the vanguard of freedom to a lot of people convicted, especially those awaiting trial. You work so hard in that direction. One thing was very difficult for me, and I wish the Constitution would be amended. My Lord, when you convict people for murder, why don't you go extra mile to sign the death warrant? Why do you say the governor should sign? I asked my branch pastor here, I say, is it spiritually allowed for a Christian governor to sign that warrant? She said, let me ask the senior pastor. I've not gotten the answer and I've not signed any. So we'll be moving for a reform. The courage to do your work should also be the courage to finish the work. Our domestication of criminal justice, we address one very important aspect. Each time there is pressure for people to be pardoned. But my concern has always been justice to the condemned, for freedom to the condemned, but no justice, for the victims. As I came up with a policy that before we can pardon anybody, we should have a way to reach out to the families of the victim so that we will make peace. It's disturbing when you see people pardoned and the families of the victim see the person going up and down, a free man without recourse to them. So I think that this domestication is going to address it. Another matter we believe will be addressed was the issue of a pregnant mother that is in waiting to be hanged or to sign that warrant. And our position, and I think my heart, is that the child in the womb is free of the crime. And so if you commit the mother to death, you'll be killing two people at the same time. But we jokingly say, what about the man that impregnated the woman while in prison? So the cause of justice should also visit the man. And they asked me, do you know whether the woman was pregnant before the conviction? In that case, I say there should be a test before we convict the person. So, my Lord, thank you. This reform is your brainchild. And I want to thank you very much. I learned so much from you that my relationship should have earned me lower barrister. Thank you. When we talk about independence of judiciary, we are truly independent in our judiciary. When we talk about the autonomy of judiciary, my Lord, I'm surprised when you said it will soon start, maybe in other states, because we are truly autonomous here. Very, very much autonomous. Even over autonomous. Yeah. And so I stoutly support the autonomy of the judiciary, the legislature, even though different interpretation is being given to it. But in the midst of all this, we will not forget that the legislature are empowered to make laws. My laws, the judiciary to interpret the laws, and we are for your welfare and projects. No one can learn the act of the other. And for me, this is truly autonomy to the three heads of government. But let me pledge that irrespective of the limitation of the autonomy, we will continue to be friends. We will continue to care for the welfare of the judiciary, stepping beyond the lines of autonomy. This is assured, my Lord. The fourth arm of government, my Lord, that truly needs our autonomy is the impoverished mothers, is the youth. We, in the time past, mortgaged their rights and their future. It is the children that need our health care. this set of people could say to be the fourth realm of government and should really be given autonomy. My Lord, 2 weeks back I was in the village and somebody came to me that made first class in law. I don't know the nomenclature he gave me, but it was to me first class for lack of full knowledge about how you grade. And she didn't have any work. First class. I felt so bad. And I remember that there could be a number of them in Ebonyi State that made first class in their various disciplines but without doing anything. And so God spoke to me to call Feruka of all the people that made first class from the beginning of the state. Shockingly, we had over 90 of them. And we brought them to our executive council and we began to interact with them. First was to ask them a few questions. I majored in mathematics, so I was able to remember one or two things in mathematics. So I asked them brilliantly. Questions were answered. And I said, what do you do? Some were teaching in primary schools. Some were not doing anything. And we were moved to tears. This is the fourth realm of government I'm talking about. I felt so bad that somebody who spent all his time doing everything to make first class in our society at the end of the day, the person has no work, has nothing to do. And I asked them, how do you feel? It was a case of depression. It was a case of regret. And this is going on in our society. And this is not acceptable. And so what we have done in this respect, my lords, which is in line with your character and your belief in uplifting our people, and also in line with what you've been advocating, we have offered this set of first class people scholarship up to PhD. We have also placed them on monthly stipends of 20,000 naira living wage. At the moment we finished, those who made second class offer started telling us that they don't have work. But what I think our youth should do is to have an attitudinal change, a commitment to agree to reform, a commitment to agree to work hard. I believe strongly in working hard. I believe that our country has to be reformed, in which the youth will take their place. In Germany, we have a department or a ministry that is called the Ministry of Future. There is no way this country is going to change unless the youths are given their place and unless the youths are prepared to work hard and not to seek for appointments, not to seek for elective position. Definitely some will, but not everybody that is called to seek for appointments and to seek for elective position. In my state, I've always maintained that we've been criminally marginalized from Anambra State and partly, my lord, in Enugu State. And from Imo State to Abia State. And we're trying to find our feet. We can do all the prayers, but if we pray and if we wish and we don't work hard, it will come to naught. For the same water of God that falls on bitter leaf is also the same water that falls on pineapple. So, my lords, we'll be asking you from Sunday to let us know how you will further your commitment and assistance and partnership to moving this state forward. We will not give up until we become #1 state in this country. And it is possible. It is possible. within the next 4 years, will we be a state to reckon with? Will we be the microcosm of the macrocosm? The answer that the nation is waiting for. And the pace setting in the land of Nigeria is having a rising of the sun in the land of Ebonyi State. I congratulate you highly, my lords, and your dear wife. I thank you for being born, and I thank you mostly for being born to Ebonyi State. And my lords, to underscore your character, each time you have a reason to celebrate. We've always had Supreme Court judges, appeal court judges, chief judges, and of course senior advocates. But one thing that baffles me all the time is that this harmony between the bar and the bench, where there is ceremony, but in the courtroom there is quarrel. We'll be moving a motion that the quarrel should continue, my lords. It will be difficult to truly appreciate you for the works of justice that you have done for us and the nation Nigeria. But, my lords, will we forever miss you as the Chief Judge of Ebonyi State? But we thank you because you have successfully given birth to a successor. And I want to congratulate the incoming Chief Judge. The beauty of this democracy is that it is interwoven. As the Chief Judge is swearing in the governor has to also swear in the Chief Judge. I have not given my assent. I'm still holding it very strongly. But definitely we have a new Chief Judge on Monday. I have to manage my schedules to come back so that we don't have a vacuum. So on Monday we'll be able to do that. So my lords, this edifice is beautiful. This edifice is a byproduct of autonomy and your hard work. And so this edifice has been approved by the State Executive Council, henceforth and from today to be known and called Justice Aloy and Wankwo Auditorium. Congratulations. 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 Thank you very much. Thank you, my lords, for coming. I will also submit the address of my
chairman of MBA, asking to always get and the MBA chairman from Enugu State. As I told you, kindly and of break for lots of time. May I humbly invite the chairman of MBA, Nigerian Bar Association, Abakaliki branch, chairman, Mr. F.S. Nweke, Esquire, to make his application. I have the directives of my law, the CJ, that they should adopt their addresses. Just adopt their addresses.
10 minutes to summarize your addresses. That's a directive from my Lord the CJ, please.
The wonder-working governor of Ebonyi State, and your dear wife, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, and here present with us, His Excellency, the former Governor of Ebonyi State. Kindly permit me to rest on the already established protocol. This is an address presented by Justice Sunday Mweke Esquire, Chairman, Nigeria Bar Association, Abakaliki Branch, on the occasion of the valedictory court session in honor of His Lordship, Honorable Justice Ebonyi CON, retiring Chief Judge of Ebonyi State, on this day, the 12th day of July, 2019. We are very thankful to God for this special day. As we all gather at this valedictory court session to congratulate my Lord, the retiring Chief Judge of Ebonyi State, Honorable Justice Aloy N. Nwankwo CON, a legal colossus whose nomenclature is almost synonymous with Ebonyi State Judiciary, a legal icon of great repute who carved a notch for his name with gold in the sand of history. My Lord, a success personified is an indelible memory in the mind of every successive democratic government in Ebonyi State. Members of the bench, bar, litigants, and the general public, while he navigated the ship of Ebonyi State Judiciary as the Chief Judge of Ebonyi State. Today's event, my Lord, to me is God's design to honor my Lord, who is a trailblazer and whose immense contribution to the legal profession, governance, and society has risen to high heaven in admiration of his Creator. For a mortal man saddled with enormous responsibility as my Lord, to retire at the peak of his profession in good health and without blemish or rancor, when the ovation is the highest, is worth rolling out the drums. My Lord came, saw, and conquered. And I make bold to say that he conquered with pride and was crushed. And both the legal profession, the government, and the society are very proud of my Lord. Lord, indeed, the lawyers of Ebonyi State are very proud of you, sir. It has been read that on the 14th day of July, 1954, my Lord, the retiring Chief Judge of Ebonyi State, arrived as a baby boy, as he then was, to the family of Chief Nwankwo Awuji of Aminyima kindred in the pastoral community. Those things are already repeated, and when you pick up the address, you will see it. Permit me also to say that as a young lawyer then, my Lord did marvelously well. He was and observed his pupillage in the law office of Mogbo, Ibik and Co. When you pick up the address, you will see as much as we have stated. We have also stated it here that Milord was appointed as the acting Chief Judge in 2003 and was confirmed in 2015. Permit us to say, very grateful. For want of time, may I adopt the address as stated and commend my Lord for a material service to the country and to Ebonyi State in particular. We also salute His Excellency for his time and for his unrelenting effort and for his judiciary-friendly disposition. Your Excellency, we are grateful to you, sir. On behalf of the members of MBA Abakaliki branch, well-wishers, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, rejoice with my Lord and thank my Lord family for all the support which has culminated in the successes that we are celebrating today. Lord, as you retire, we wish you God's presence all the time. Very grateful, sir. And permit me to tender my address as exhibit in this matter. I believe I will get justice. The copy, please.
The address there by the 3 NBA chairmen in Ebonyi State, presented there by Barrister Festus Mweke of the Abakaliki Bar. The address will be combining address also by Chukwuemeka Owa from the Onweke branch and Stanley Nka from the Afiko branch here at the valedictory court session of the Ebonyi State Judiciary in honor of Honorable Justice A.N. Nwankwo.
2 minutes.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, Engineer Dr. David Mweze Umahi and his amiable wife, Your Excellency, the former Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, Dr. Sam Ominyewo, my Lord, may I, with your leave, stand on the existing protocol already established. This is an address presented by the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Afiko branch on the occasion of the valedictory court session in honor of the Honorable Justice A.N. Nwankwo, CON, FCI, on this Friday, 12 July 2019. Your Lordship, in Acts of Apostle, Chapter 13, verse 36, the scripture made a very important revelation about David. And a Christian writer described the revelation this way. It was only 7 words, but like the stamp of a searing hot branding iron, the revelation is David served God's purpose in his generation. This is akin to Honorable Justice Aloy Mweke Nwankwo, who impacted the Ebonyi State Judiciary in his own time. My Lord, for want of time, may I kindly adopt my written address as the position and address and adumbration and submission of the Nigerian Bar Association Afiko branch, and we seek, my Lord, to admit same as an exhibit in evidence. May my Lord be pleased.
And that is Mr. Stanley Nka from the Afiko branch submitting his own address. Remember, it's 3 addresses by the NBA chairman. Next up will be the NBA chairman from the Onweke branch here in Ebonyi State, Barrister Chukwuemeka Owa.
My Lord, please, for want of time, may I rest on the already established protocols. My Lord, on behalf of the bar, Onweke Bar, we filed the written address. And my Lord, before I seek to adopt same, I wish to humbly align myself with the submissions of the learned Attorney General and that of my Executive Governor and others that have made the applications before you, sir. My Lord, before I adopt also, let me thank you, because if not for you, I wouldn't have been here to adopt this address. You made series of efforts and doggedness and created Onweke Bar. We are very proud of you, sir. My Lord, on behalf of the Onweke Bar, we congratulate you and wish you a meritorious service, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you, sir. I seek to tender same in evidence as an exhibit. Thank you.
Exhibit E, my lord. E. Can we have some quiet, please? Order in the court. With the kind leave of court, may I invite the chairman of the NBA, Nigerian Bar Association, Enugu State Branch, visiting chairman from Enugu State, to make his application.
My Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Ebonyi State, I adopt the protocol ably established by you here this morning. My Lord, given the fact that we are wrestling against time, or that time is against us, and given the fact that the learned sake behind me, teaching that I merely adopt, I wouldn't want to run foul of any procedure here. The learned sake, the leader here, has said, if you must attend to the height of being a silk, there are things you must do. And in our profession, we have order. The order is coming from behind now, that I should adopt, merely adopt. May I just say that I adopt the written address I have here, but just to make one or two remarks, my Lord. If my Lord so permits me, I take it my Lord has permitted me. My Lord, I want to say that we in Enugu are so pleased that my Lord is a product from Enugu. When the learned sake Chief Eomobo was talking and mentioned the number of times my Lord visited him and attended virtually every ceremonial judicial function held in Enugu, it is a testimony to the fact that my Lord did not forget the days of little beginning. My Lord started from Enugu and had remained a part and parcel of us. So we are glad to be here. May I, with respect, then tender this written speech as not for ID, as an exhibit. May please the court.
Exhibit F, my lord, F. May I finally invite the centenary president of the MBA and leader of the bar, Honorable Chief Barrister Honorable Chief Ebele Nwokoye. Is he here? Come. To make his application.
Relying on existing protocol, I wish to join all the previous speakers in congratulating my Lord on his retirement today from the judiciary at a time when he is not tired. I was privileged to watch our hero, that is my Lord, as a young legal practitioner in the 1980s. Then again, in the Constituent Assembly in 1988/1989. and later as a young legal practitioner in politics, and thereafter as a judge of the High Court of Justice, starting from Enugu and then Abakaliki, and then lastly as the Chief Judge, Honorable Chief Judge of Ebonyi State. In all these, my Lord performed excellently well. I wish to attest that his escapades, or if I may call it so, in politics, as a legal practitioner in politics, and later on as a judge, that the partisanship of politics did not follow him when he became a judge. He performed his work as a judge very well. He did his work, performed honestly, fairly, and justly to every man. He performed judicial work without, I have to say, any corrupt attitude, which is what is expected from every judicial officer. And in his retirement, I wish him very well. I was privileged to read most of the judgments of our hero. And I can attest that these judgments are of the class of the judgments written by Honorable Justice Igu and all of his workers when they were at the High Court bench, which eventually elevated them to the Supreme Court directly without touching the Court of Appeal. With this background, my hero can understand why I am regretting that he did not end up or retire in the Court of Appeal or in the Supreme Court at 70. Lastly, I wish to give my Lord my centenary blessings. And I pray for him, for God to give him long life in his retirement, and with the benefit of hindsight, that while God gives him long life, I also pray that God will give him the grace not to bury the young. This is my fervent prayer in Jesus' name.
And with that speech there from Barrister Honorable Chief Ebele Nwokoye, former NBA President of the Nigerian Bar Association President, we've come to the end of the valedictory court session of the Ebonyi State Judiciary in honor of His Lordship, Honorable Justice Aloy Nweke Nwankwo, who has retired officially and will be handing over on Monday, as we heard from the Governor, to Honorable Justice Anselm Nwigwe. And that's it here from the Judiciary Auditorium Complex, which has now been named the Anselm Nwigwe Auditorium here in the State High Court premises of Ebonyi State, the salt of the nation. We'll return you to Lagos right now for regular programming. I am Kayla Magwa.